Today we're going to dive into one of the most iconic destinations in the world, New York City. If you're planning to visit the Big Apple, then in this video I'm going to walk you through a detailed and action-packed 4-day itinerary that covers the must-see sites, some local gems, and a few tips to help you make the most of your time here. So stick around for the full video so you don't miss any. Right, let's get started. Day 1. Starting your New York City adventure in Midtown will give you a great feel for the city's fast-paced and classic attractions. With this packed but manageable itinerary, you'll experience some of NYC's best highlights right from the first day. In the morning, start bright and early at Times Square to see it without the massive crowds. Take some time to appreciate the electric vibe with the enormous digital billboards and colorful lights. This is the perfect place to snap some photos by the famous red steps. For breakfast, grab one of the iconic New York-style bagels and a coffee while you soak up the ambiance. A short walk from Times Square is the Rockefeller Center, a must-see for any first-time visitor. This area is especially beautiful in the wintertime, with its ice skating rink and holiday decorations. Head inside to take the elevator up to the top of the Rock Observation Deck for one of the best views of the New York City skyline. Here, you'll get a stunning view of the Empire State Building, Central Park, and the rest of Manhattan, which is great for capturing panoramic shots. After Rockefeller Center, take a stroll up to Fifth Avenue, which is known for its luxury shopping and flagship stores. Even if shopping isn't on your agenda, the window displays alone are worth a look. The displays turn into magical winter scenes during the holiday season, drawing thousands of visitors. Along Fifth Avenue, you'll find the historic St. Patrick's Cathedral. Open to visitors, this place is a must-visit on your 4-day stop in New York. After, head south toward Bryant Park, known as Manhattan's Town Square. This is a lovely place to relax, especially if you've been on your feet all day. In the winter, it transforms into a winter village with ice skating and holiday markets. In the evening, Midtown has no shortage of classic dining spots to cater to everyone's needs. Visit Carmine's for a family-style Italian meal. If you're interested in something upscale, Le Bernardin offers fine dining with exceptional seafood dishes. A trip to New York wouldn't be complete, though, without a Broadway show. Broadway has options for every taste, from classic musicals like The Phantom of the Opera and The Lion King to newer favorites like Hamilton and Wicked. Make sure to book your tickets in advance to get the best seats, which you should only do through verified ticket-selling platforms, or if you're open to spontaneity, check the TKTS booth for last-minute deals. Here's a travel tip. While walking is a great way to explore the famous city of New York, if your legs are tired, then you can use the subway to get around quickly. The subway is cheap, it's efficient, and a convenient way to get around the city. It's available 24 hours a day. You can use an Omni contactless payment or a Metro card to access the subway and buses. You can also take one of the iconic yellow taxis to get to your destination. You can hail one on the street or use an app like Uber or Lyft. Day 2 in New York City. This day focuses on Lower Manhattan, filled with rich history, iconic landmarks, and moving memorials. In the morning, start the day with a ferry ride from Battery Park to Liberty Island to see the Statue of Liberty up close. Make sure that you book your tickets well ahead of time, especially if you want to access the pedestal or crown, as these tickets often sell out. Once on the island, take in the views of Lady Liberty and learn about her history as a symbol of freedom and hope for millions of immigrants arriving to the United States. After visiting Liberty Island, the ferry continues to Ellis Island, a deeply moving experience that showcases stories of immigrants who arrived here during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. You should plan about 3 to 4 hours for the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island, including ferry time. Ferries run frequently, but lines can be long, so the earlier you go, the better. In the afternoon, head back to Manhattan and make your way to Wall Street, the center of New York's financial district. Here you can see the famous New York Stock Exchange building. Just around the corner, you'll see the Charging Bull statue, a symbol of Wall Street's optimism and strength. This is another great place for a quick photo. Whilst you walk around these famous avenues, you should grab one of the classic hot dogs from a vendor that you pass for a quick bite to eat. Walk a few blocks west to the 9/11 Memorial and Museum. The twin reflecting pools sit on the footprints of the original World Trade Center towers and are a solemn tribute to those that lost their lives in the 2001 attacks. Take a moment to read some of the engraved names around the pool and experience the quiet and powerful atmosphere. If you choose to go inside the 9/11 Museum, you'll find extensive exhibits on the events of 9/11, personal stories, artifacts, and tributes. This is a deeply moving experience, so prepare for a couple hours here if you want to explore it fully. In the evening, just a short walk away is Chinatown, an ideal spot for dinner. This neighborhood is known for its authentic Chinese cuisine, and you'll find everything from traditional dim sum to hand-pulled noodles and dumplings. Popular restaurants include Joe's Shanghai and Nom Hua Tea Parlor, one of the oldest dim sum spots in NYC. After dinner, if you fancy something sweet, take a stroll to Little Italy to try a classic Italian dessert at Ferrara Bakery, known for its cannolis, or grab a gelato as you explore the area. Day 2 is a great mix of history, emotion, and culture, showing you different aspects of New York beyond the hustle and bustle. Here's a tip on when's the best time to visit New York. Now, New York is busy all year round, but if you want to avoid as much of the chaos as possible, the best time to visit New York is in autumn or spring. During these times, the weather is pleasant, there are fewer crowds, and this is a great time to find deals on hotels if you're traveling on a budget. For me personally, I would say the best time to visit New York is around the Christmas period, as you have the magic of the Christmas festivities, but you should bear in mind that this is the busiest time of the year, and hotels are usually way more expensive. Day 3, in the morning. Start your day by immersing yourself in the natural beauty of Central Park, situated in the middle of Manhattan. The park has multiple entrances, but entering around 59th Street and 5th Avenue near the Plaza Hotel is a classic way to begin. There's so much to do in the park, which can take you all morning to explore. The Central Park Zoo and Bethesda Terrace and Fountain are two of the more famous locations in the park. In the afternoon. Now, New York is home to world-famous museums, so depending on your interests, you can dive either into history or maybe explore incredible art. Maybe both. First, let's talk about the Met, or the Metropolitan Museum of Art. It's located on the Upper East Side along Museum Mile. Now, the Met is an iconic museum with a vast collection that spans over 5,000 years of art and history. With paintings from artists like Monet, Van Gogh, and Degas, it's well worth the visit. Check out the rooftop garden for incredible views of Central Park and the Manhattan skyline. But this is only open seasonally. Located on the Upper West Side across from Central Park is the American Museum of Natural History. This museum is perfect if you're interested in natural history. Here's a tip. Both museums are enormous, so it's best to choose a few must-see exhibits in advance to make the most of your visit. You can easily spend hours in each, so plan accordingly. Sciences, anthropology, and space. Let's talk about the evening. Now, there are plenty of restaurants around this area to grab an evening meal. On the Upper East Side, you've got everything from cozy Italian spots like Uva to upscale French bistros like Orsay. And on the Upper West Side, you've got Jacob's Pickles and The Smith, which offers new American dishes with a lively atmosphere. After dinner, consider an evening stroll around the neighborhood. The Upper West Side has a residential charm with tree-lined streets, brownstones, and a quieter vibe compared to Midtown. Central Park's edges are also lovely to walk along at night. Day 3 balances the peacefulness of nature, the cultural wealth of New York's museums, and the charm of the Upper East and West Sides. Here's an airport tip. Now, there are many ways of getting from JFK Airport to Manhattan. Taxis are direct, but the costliest way. You can pay anywhere between $70 to $100, including tolls and tips. And this could take between 45 to 60 minutes, depending on traffic. Another way is via the air train and subway. This should cost around $8.25 and can take anywhere between 50 and 70 minutes. This is a budget-friendly way, but you'll be carrying your luggage on public transport, so that's something to bear in mind. You can also get the NYC Direct Bus, which costs about $19 one way and will take you about 90 minutes. You can do this by taking the bus from JFK to Grand Central Terminal, Port Authority, or Times Square. Let's talk about Day 4, in the morning. The final day of your trip in New York should start under the Manhattan Bridge overpass, one of Brooklyn's trendiest neighborhoods. It's known for its cobblestone streets, scenic waterfront views, and historic warehouses that have been repurposed as stylish shops or restaurants. Begin with breakfast at Almondine Bakery for a coffee and a pastry, or Butler for brunch with views. After you've eaten breakfast, head to Pebble Beach, a small rocky area on the East River with one of the best views of Manhattan. From here, you can see both the Brooklyn Bridge and the Manhattan Bridge. One of the highlights of Day 4 is the Brooklyn Bridge Walk. Take the pedestrian walkway on the bridge to cross back into Manhattan. This iconic bridge offers incredible views of Manhattan skyscrapers and the East River. The bridge can get crowded, especially on weekends. Morning or early afternoon is a good time to walk it for fewer crowds and better lighting for your photos. In the afternoon, after crossing the Brooklyn Bridge, you'll arrive in Lower Manhattan. Make your way to Soho, a famous neighborhood for its cast iron architecture, art galleries, and boutique shopping. If by this point you're feeling peckish, then stop for some food at Jack's Wife Freda, which offers Mediterranean-inspired dishes, or maybe try Balthazar for a classic French bistro experience. If you prefer something lighter, grab a quick bite at Prince Street Pizza, a local favorite known for its pepperoni-topped Sicilian slices. And in the evening, wrap up your New York trip with a visit to Greenwich Village. The neighborhood is famous for its jazz clubs, comedy venues, and live music bars. Catch some laughs at Comedy Cellar, which is one of NYC's most iconic comedy clubs, where many famous comedians got their start. For live music, check out the Blue Note for Jazz, or Cafe Wha. But either way, that wraps up your 4-day adventure in New York City. I hope this itinerary gave you plenty of inspiration for your trip, whether it's your first time in NYC or you're coming back for more. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and for more travel tips and in-depth itineraries, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos.